All right, let's dive into one of the biggest challenges in AI right now. How do you take a Retrieval-Augmented Generation system, a RAG, from a cool but kind of brittle prototype and turn it into something genuinely powerful and reliable? We're going to lay out the blueprint for building a system that's truly ready for production.
First things first, why should you even care? Well, let's talk money. The RAG market is not just growing, it's absolutely exploding. It's on track to be an $11 billion industry by 2030. This is becoming a cornerstone of enterprise AI, which makes this next question all the more important.
So here's the big, frustrating question, right? If this is a billion-dollar technology, why are so many RAG projects just failing? They look amazing in a demo, but then they hit the real world and completely fall apart. What is going on?
And here it is. This is the core idea of this whole explainer. The pattern is crystal clear. The problem usually isn't the AI's ability to talk. The failure happens one step before that. It's not about generating the answer. It's about finding the right information in the first place.
So that's where we start our journey. Level 1, mastering retrieval. You've got to fix the engine before you even think about a new paint job, right? This is all about dramatically improving the quality of the information we're feeding our model.
And to do that, we're going to focus on 3 absolutely critical upgrades. Think of these as your essential toolkit for getting retrieval right. We're talking hybrid search, adding a reranker, and using smart chunking. Let's break each of these down.
So first up, hybrid search. Old school keyword search is precise, but it's kind of dumb. It looks for exact words, so it misses the point if you don't use the perfect phrasing. But a modern hybrid search, it's brilliant. It combines that keyword precision with the deep semantic understanding of vector search. So it just knows that how plants make food and explain photosynthesis are really the same question. You get the best of both worlds.
Next up, we add a reranker. Okay, think of this like a bouncer at an exclusive club. Your hybrid search is the first line. It casts a wide net and grabs a big crowd, say the top 100 possible documents. Then the reranker, this slower but way smarter model, comes in and does a deep dive on just those 100. It reads your query and each document together to figure out the true relevance. The result? Only the absolute best of the best make it through to the language model.
And our third upgrade, smart chunking. This is all about how you break up your documents, and trust me, it's so much more important than it sounds. Bad chunking is like feeding the AI a shredded novel. You end up with confusing, out-of-context fragments. But smart, semantic chunking keeps whole ideas and paragraphs together, which gives the model coherent information to work with.
Okay, so our retrieval engine is tuned up and running smoothly. We're ready for level 2, giving our RAG system a brain. This is where we go beyond just answering simple questions and start actually solving complex problems.
And this is the massive leap we're talking about. Classic RAG is a simple 2-step. Retrieve, then generate. It's fine for basic Q&A. But an agentic RAG, that's a whole other ballgame. It's not just a process, it's an intelligent workflow. It can plan how to attack a problem, act by picking the right tools, and then reason about the results. This is a system that actually makes decisions.
So what kind of superpowers does this agent brain unlock? Well, for starters, there's planning. It can take a big, messy question and break it down into smaller, solvable steps. Then there's tool use. It can decide for itself whether it needs keyword search, vector search, or maybe even to call an external API. It can also do verification, checking its own work to make sure the info is good enough. Plus, it has memory for real conversations and can interact with other systems. It's a huge step up.
And this all happens inside its core operational loop. It's a continuous cycle: plan, route, act, and verify. The agent breaks the problem down, sends each piece to the right tool, executes the task, checks the result, and only then does it stop and put together a final, trustworthy answer. This loop is what makes it so robust and methodical.
Okay, we've built this powerful, brainy system, but how do we know if it's any good? That brings us to our final and maybe the most important level, the scoreboard. Because let's be honest, you absolutely cannot improve what you don't measure.
And at the top of that scoreboard is the #1 metric: faithfulness. This asks one simple question. Is the answer the AI gave you actually supported by the documents it found? Or is it just making stuff up? This is your hallucination detector, and it's non-negotiable for building trust.
Next up is answer relevance. And this is a subtle but vital one. An answer can be 100% faithful to a document, totally factual, but be completely useless if it doesn't actually answer the user's question. This metric makes sure the output isn't just correct, but actually helpful.
And finally, this brings us full circle, right back to the beginning. We have to measure the retrieval step itself, using context precision and recall. In plain English, did we find the right stuff? And did we find all of the right stuff? If this foundation is weak, the whole system crumbles.
So let's bring it all together. We've gone on this whole journey from a simple, fragile prototype to a sophisticated, production-grade system. And it proves one thing for sure. The future of this technology isn't just about finding information, it's about agentic reasoning. Here it is, your level-up journey, the 3 essential steps. First, you master retrieval. Fix that foundation. Second, you add reasoning. Give your system a brain with an agentic workflow. And third, you always measure. You keep score so you know what's working and what's not.
And if you're wondering if all this extra work is worth it, oh yeah, the real-world impact is dramatic. Moving from a naive, basic RAG to an advanced, agentic one can slash hallucinations by an incredible 70 to 90%. That's the difference between a cool demo and a tool you can actually bet your business on.
So the impact is clear. We're building systems that don't just answer questions anymore. They can plan, reason, and act in the world. And as these AI agents become more and more autonomous, it leaves us with one final, crucial question to think about. What is the one task we as humans should always decide to keep for ourselves?